So let's go through the front-end code. Before doing everything, you should first go on our GitHub. So this is our official GitHub. You have to clone the code and then put it on your own drive. And then once you clone the code, here you can actually cd into the routes, correct routes here, and then try to do npm install, npm i, which I already done, if you see above. And then once that is done, you can simply do next dev to start the code. But before doing that, you have to make sure that all the environment variable here is all set it up, and especially for this KV URL, since our front-end code are not using any traditional database like MongoDB or MySQL Postgres, we only use a KV database that is provided by Vercel. So for more documentation, you can see here. So Vercel KV is a Redis database that allow us to retrieve and store JSON data. And here are some steps. So if you follow this URL, it's highly recommended that you have to set up the Vercel URL, like the Vercel KV database by yourself, so you can run the code and save all the chat history locally. Save that into your KV database. And once you have set these things up, and also these like Google Authentication ID keys, then you're good to go. So if you try to launch the app, so let me stop here. Let me do next dev. And then you will see that the app is launched at this 3000 port. So if you go on your browser, you tap this like 3000 here, you can see that our app will be there. But since if you check the terminal, it's still compiling. So it will probably take you 1 or 2 minutes until it's compiled. So, okay, while it's compiling, let's go over some of the code. So we use Next.js, which is a server-side rendering framework that is really popular right now. And for package stuff, we use like Node.js. And if you have like Next.js in this package environment, then you probably can run the entire repo. And for more details about Next.js, you guys can check Next.js documentation here and see like what are all these doing, and especially have to check for this routering. So for Next.js, since it's server-side rendering, it will use this folder, like the folder routes in this app here, to treat it as a like router. So like in normal React.js or TypeScript project, you probably have a route file that actually tell like which route in the browser here are navigating to which page. But in Next.js, we only use this folder as like the route structure, and in each folder we have this page TSX or layout TSX that actually render the page components. So that's a little bit different. Okay, so our code originated from this Next.js AI chatbot, which is an open source project. So our like UI or some of the like components code are like actually using this open source components or project. And for more details, you guys can check this Vercel AI chatbot repo. So if you have like any questions or confused about our code base, you can check all these documentations and also some of the issues, past issues here. You can find like what's wrong with it. And then, yeah. Okay, let's see. I think our app is being launched locally. So we can select a course, let's say this one, and say, tell me something about course. And then, yep, here's our result. So how do you actually achieve this? Well, we have our own large language model deployed at these URLs. So we have several courses. Each course have its own separate instance. And in that, we mainly go through this page TSX in the outer side, which will render this chat components inside this chat. We use like really important functions, and package that we're actually using is this use chat. So what is this use chat? Well, this use chat is SDK that is provided by Vercel. So Vercel did something with this chatbot UI SDK. So it includes like how front request should look like and how backend should manage those stuff. So inside that, we use the most important function called useChat. So using this useChat, we can have these functionalities from the useChat, and we have like messages, append, reload. So for each like request that we're actually sending over here, we actually do this append function. So if you see, this chat panel is actually the main components in that page, and when we actually click into it, you can see that this append function is actually used over here. So this prompt form is actually this like text field here, and then whenever we're actually like doing submit, we're doing this append function that is actually like the things that we actually import from this use chat. So we will actually append something to to a queue, and then we'll process it and actually get the data back. So when you're actually doing this append, we are sending request like this. So use chat function will actually triggered by this append and do this URL. So API chat, which actually should be the URL file that we're actually using here. So API chat, and it actually like append point to this file. And in this file, there's only one post function. So this is the function that we're actually going to use. So I actually trigger this function, and on response and on finish, we actually do different things. So on response, it'll check like if the like response is good, and on finish, it'll actually save the chat into our KB database. So if you actually click into the save chat, which actually we right above here, you can see that we are doing some kind of like API chat save, which actually point to the save folder route, and in this, you can see that we are doing KB database save. So yeah, so it basically means when we actually finish over here, we actually finish the request, we'll save the chat to our database. And once that is done, we will navigate, so router.replace will navigate to that specific chat ID. So you can see here, it's navigate to this chat with specific ID in our KB database. So one tricky things in all these stuff is that we actually use something called toCall ID. So toCall ID. Yep. So for this toCall ID we use here, we're actually like putting this data in there. So what is this data? Well, this data is actually something that we store in our local storage. So we first load this data from the storage, which is the selected course. So what is this selected course? Well, it's actually what users select over here. So if they select CX61A, then that like the strings or the data that we're actually getting is CX61A. So if you click into this load data, you can see that in this function, we are getting the data from local storage by the key. Okay, so once we get the data, we actually put into this field so that we can read in our request, like in our post request. For this, like how actually is this toCall ID used? It has other purpose, but right now we simply use this as a placeholder to hold our course data here. So during this entire process, like if you can see for our previous request, you can see that I log something. So since it's server-side rendering, it won't actually show up in this like inspect here. So if you open here, inspect console, you can see that there's nothing over there. You have to check all the console.log messages in the terminal. So over here in this post function, I console.log few things so that you can see the entire process clearly. So once we type something here and we type enter, it will first trigger this in this chat panel, we'll first trigger this onSubmit, which will actually trigger this append function. And this append function is actually things that we do here, append, and then this use chat will implement something, and then once it's done, it will save. So right now, I'm actually logging the API actions here. So if you can see that, we click here, this is the chat route. So this should be the API/chat post function. And I'm actually logging this here. So what are these two? Well, first is that how we actually get the course ID is the messages message.length -1 is actually the latest message, and then you can actually visualize to see like if the course ID is actually changing. So okay, let's first change this to E106B, and let's say, tell me about this course. Then when we are sending, you can check the terminal. You can see that latest message, role user, tell me about this course. Tool ID is EE106B. So that's why we use this tool ID field to try to save the data here, because this is the only place that we can actually read the course ID. So you can see the course ID is EE106B. So once it's done, let me change to another course. Let's say 61A. Then same thing. Tell me about this course. And if you can see here, the course now changed to CS61A. So that's how we actually get the data. So that's how we actually use this tool ID field. I think that's basically everything. And besides that, like interesting thing that we're actually doing is this authentication stuff. So in here, in utils, you can see that we have used this auth. So normally, if we have like a database, we probably would do like user authentication to store like users' data, some token, and try to validate that in our database. But instead, we use this Google authentication. So if I log out, you can see that I have to use my Berkeley account, log in, and since I already have the data inside this browser storage, so actually it will just log me into this one automatically. But if you are like logging into this page from start fresh, you have to use our berkeley.edu email to log in. So we use this next auth, which is something that Next.js provide. So simply try to use a Google service to authenticate our user. So we don't store anything like any specific data for user in our own database. Instead, we ask Google to provide an authenticated user token and send it back to us so that we can use their service to authenticate, let's say, this is a valid user. So once it's done, we'll actually use this token and get the user ID from it. After we get this user ID, we can actually do something with it because we actually are getting the history here. So all the history of a user chat from the database, we have to use this user ID to locate which record should I fetch. So for more details about how we are actually implementing the KV database, you guys can check about here probably. Wait a minute, let me check. Yes, so we basically store the data in our database in this format. So chat with their ID, or user chat with their session user ID. And what are these two do is that one thing is in charge of fetching all the user history with some of the data here. And the other one, like this chat with specific ID, is telling us which one should I grab. So the specific chat data, all the things here are actually getting from using this header. So yeah, that's how we actually store our data. And if you install and launch your own KV database, you can actually navigate to the database and to see what we're actually doing with those data. Okay, so I think that's basically all the code. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask us.